Very good afternoon to all. I welcome all the participants, and we have today eminent resource person, Dr. Manjunath Prasad, PC, so working as a scientist at IRI New Delhi in the Department of Science Technology. I heartily welcome you for this platform, sir.
Thank you very much.
Now I request Ganga to introduce Dr. Manjunath Prasad sir to all our beloved participants.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Gagana, third year student from College of Horticulture, Hiriyuru. Welcome to all webinar series on career development and learning opportunities in international institutes. It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Manjunath Prasad, CT Scientist, Division of Seed Science and Technology. Dr. Manjunath Prasad CT was born on December 20, 1983, and he completed BSc Agriculture from University of Agriculture Sciences, Bangalore, and had been to Dharwad for his post-graduation MSc Agriculture in the Department of Seed Science and Technology, and he completed PhD in the Department of Molecular Biology at Wageningen University and Research, the Netherlands. He worked as a scientist at Indian Council of Agricultural Resources, New Delhi, and he received many of the awards, and he got gold medal from UAS Dharwad in the year of 2007, and he received Dr. H.K. Arakeri Memorable Cash Award from the same university, and he contributed many of the books and publications. Few of them are recent approaches for the improvement of seed qualities and a farmer's participatory seed. And at present, he was working as a scientist in the Division of Seed Science and Technology, HiCAR, Pusa Campus, New Delhi. Thank you.
Thank you, Ganga. Sir, now I request you to take over the virtual platform, sir. It's over to you, sir.
Okay. So, well, after my brief introduction, see, basic thing is we aspired for something, but we ended up somewhere. Thing is, ultimately, have you achieved your goal? So, as a student, when I was pursuing my degree, BSc Agriculture, we were indeed aspiring to move abroad, but individual situation depends. My situation did not allow me to take it forward. But many students could be that they may have they may be having good finance, and they can still think of going abroad to take up their higher studies. But still, when we were students at that time, web or internet was very limited. So I still remember when I was a BSc student, I still applied for 2 to 3 universities in USA because I had my friends who were really aspiring and very serious to take up higher studies abroad. But things were not right for me, so I moved into the normal stream of education, of higher education in India. So I got into the ICR JRF, and then we could end up having a seat at University of Dharwad. And then when we were doing our masters, then a thought came to our mind because many of our senior friends they were doing civil services. So we had also in our mind that why we should also not try. So we started with that. But ultimately, our goal was to achieve to be a civil servant. Then the first step was to move to a place where we have very good platform to prepare for civil service exam. Thereby, I came to IRI. So when I came to IRI, we hardly we prepared very hard for that exam, but unfortunately, we could not in the civil services stream. But whatever we prepared for that exam, that did not leave us in halfway. That helped us to prepare for the other exams. It made exams a easy job. So I got into the Agriculture Research Service, and when I decided, well, civil services is not my cup of tea, and I started to move on with the Agriculture Research Service. So I joined the Agriculture Research Service somewhere in 2009. So after joining Agriculture Research Service, I was a master student. So when you joined Agriculture Research Service, for your career development, the PhD is quite essential. So you all know that when you aspire to become a assistant professor or to continue in teaching and research stream, PhD is quite needy. After this, when I came to my division, this place, especially the IRI, it opened ample of opportunities for taking up higher studies for me. I did not stop, and I stopped thinking that I should do my PhD in an Indian university. So I had in fact big dreams to move out of India to do my PhD. So how I did my PhD? So, well, when you started, you have a full-time job and you have very good colleagues. But when it comes to your thinking about doing higher studies, then I did not know where to start. So being at IRI, we had lot of IRI alumnus, and we had lot of foreign visitors, especially into IRI, who were stopping by or who were invited to certain trainings, international trainings. So I had a very good rapport with them. So I thought, why not? I should try going abroad and take up my PhD. So one of my colleague here, he had visited the Wageningen University in Netherlands for a period of 6 months, and I got a contact to my supervisor, the present supervisor, and this is how it started. Well, it did not end. Okay, you had a contact, but it did not end. It did not stop there, because uh, we needed many things. Say, for example, we needed funding. Who would support me? We needed the research topic. So, what research I want to do at my supervisor's place, and many other questions started to hit me. So I thought, well, but I did not lose hopes. But I thought, well, let me sit down and see what all options I have. So what I thought is, then my supervisor did not give me any clue. So what he said is, well, if you had some funding, then I can accept you as a PhD student. But remember that we should have a very good research program. So then I sat down, and then I went through all his publications, with the recent publications and the previous publication. And so, well, this is the person which I like, and because it was directly reflecting on what job I was doing, and also to the theme of research which we were carrying out at IRI. So then what I did is, then I started to prepare my research program. So it is not an easy job, because the research program should be something which is challenging, and which is quite innovative, and which is doable, and lot of things. So I drafted my research program and I sent to him, and he saw my research program and said, well, this is what I wanted from a PhD student. So, well, we can look for a funding opportunity. So the funding opportunity was, because during my journey to enter into Wageningen, I had failed many times. So the first funding opportunity was an IRRI India's Erie Wageningen Sandwich Program. So there was a program wherein Erie and Wageningen would support a candidate if they take up a PhD position. So one of the supervisor would be from Wageningen and one of the supervisor would be from Erie, Philippines, and that is how we started. But lastly, when we all pursued, but I did not get selected. So I almost waited like 2 years preparing for this. After that, I thought, well, oh my God, what happened? There is. Then I saw a blank wall, and I said, let me stop. But somehow I did not stop there. So I started to, because now I have all the documents, I have all the research program, I have the letter of recommendation. I'll come to that in detail when I discuss these slides. And I said, what to do? What do I need? So the thing was, I needed financial resource or funding source. So what I did is, I started to look at the internet. I started to look at various websites which would give information on funding sources. Luckily, on the same time, there were two funding opportunities. One was the Commonwealth Fellowship, and the other was the ICR International Fellowship. I thought, well, Commonwealth Fellowship was quite competitive. It is very competitive. So very limited number of scholarships. So also the ICR International Fellowship, because it's hardly 15 fellowships. What I did is I applied for both the fellowship, and then I got an interview call from both the fellowships. Ultimately, I could land up getting the ICR International Fellowship to do my PhD at Wageningen. So this is my short story. Why I said my story is to just say that never lose hopes. Be patient, have patience in you, believe in yourself, never lose hopes. If I would have lost hope at the first instant, I would have just ended up doing some research in an Indian university and would continue doing my job. So this is my brief story. With this, let us move on further. Studying abroad is, again, it's not an easy job. If you look at the students market, why I am comparing is, when I went to Wageningen, it was quite a global touch. It had a global touch, in the sense, almost like Wageningen University had students from almost all countries. You take it from Africa, South America, Asia, you take it from maybe Middle East, wherever you take, people would be there. So it is quite global in what do you say, spread. So I thought to give information that most of the students which are going to study abroad are from China and India. So the students go out. The first rank is China, like 9,28,000 plus students yearly. They go abroad to take up higher studies. Likewise, in India, you have like 3,30,000 plus. So, if you look at scholarships in China, what system they have is, they have the Chinese Scholarship Council. So the government supports like around 65,000 students to go abroad. So the government sponsors the students to go abroad. But in India, there is no such arrangement, and we can hardly count. So for agriculture and allied subjects, you can hardly count, say maybe hardly 30, 40, 50 fellowships or scholarships from the government. So the important thing, what I want to make clear is that Indians are going abroad, so you have a lot of chances. And another important thing is, don't depend on government funding or government funding. Look out for scholarships which are quite diverse. or which are quite offered by other sources. Okay, like what are the popular destination for Indians? Like as per some records, it is like people move to Canada, they move to Germany, Australia, United States, Italy, and other European countries. So when Indians look for uh, going abroad, they generally land up having to select these countries because they have mainstreamed the admission procedures in these countries. So it can be that the admission process is quite simple in these countries, and there are a lot of opportunities. And if an Indian starts to think he wants to study abroad, so what counts? First and foremost thing is the tuition fees. Most of the students they drop out because the tuition fees are quite hefty or quite huge. So another next point, what they consider is the career support at the university. So what is next after my studies, and what is the teaching quality is the next. So how people select what is the university's reputation among the global universities. So this is how students starts to think or count on. Say for example, if the tuition fees are quite low, then there is more chances that the Indian students go and end up in the university. But don't be disheartened because a lot of universities know this problem and they have specialized program, and sometimes they have waiver of tuition fees, and there are condition apply. So what could be the condition? Condition could be that if you have very good grades and if you have a very good research proposal, in such cases they can waive of certain percentage of fees, or they can sometimes waive full tuition fees. Like for example, in my case, it was that I used to receive around 1,700 US dollars as a monthly fellowship. But the condition for my admission was that you have to pay almost 1,000 US dollars as the bench fees per month. In that case, I thought, oh, what is the fun then? Because I pay 1,000 US dollars and I save around 700 US dollars, and the 700 US dollars is not going to meet my the living cost, or maybe the cost for my food and other things. I said, well, this is not lucrative. But then what I did is, since I had a good academic, what do you say, as records, so I approached the university administration that can I get a waiver for tuition fees? Then they readily agreed. So this is how you have to start. International students, when I go abroad and look international students, there are two types of students. One is the foreign students and another is the mobile students. The foreign students are nothing but there are no differentiation between the actual local citizens and the foreign nationals. But in mobile students, what you have certain arrangements. Say for example, in case of Erasmus students, there is a Erasmus scholarship. There, what you spend maximum amount of time in your home country, and you spend very little time in the foreign country or the host country. In that case, these students will have only a limited exposure. But foreign students, they are full time. Means they spend full time at the university, and they have no differentiation. Now moving on, like Indians. Sorry. So many of the students would have certain myths in their mind. So what are those common myths? So it would be like studying abroad is very expensive. So don't worry, studying abroad is not expensive if you are really calculating in economic terms. Because when you go abroad, you spend maybe, say for example, 50 lakhs for your whole program. And after that, you get settled in the foreign country, and you start to earn. When you start to earn, the rate of returns. Uh, if you look at the rate of returns, it is very. It is not that studying abroad is quite expensive. So another thing is you can have problems. There might be problems communicating with foreigners because they think they may treat Indians or they may neglect Indians. It is not true. As you saw the data that the foreigners or the foreign universities have full-fledged program, and they know that people are coming from China and India. So they are not going to neglect you people, they are going to encourage you, in fact. Okay. And you might have myth that employers don't give importance. Why I'm saying employers? Because see, in India, if you do a master's, it is again uh, you are a student. If you do also a PhD, you are still considered as a student. But in many Western countries, especially in Europe, uh, doing a PhD is not a student life; it is an employment. So you are going to be given a good salary package, and whatever the law says or whatever the law of the land is, and you will also get other perks also. So doing PhD, not MSc, but doing PhD is a type of employment. Okay, so don't have this type of myth in you. And you may find that it is difficult to find scholarship for international students. Well, I understand many of the Western countries, they need manpower or student power to continue to support their research program. So what university have is they have the inbuilt scholarship program for the international students. Okay. So if you want to study, I would suggest to keep certain things in mind. Never ever look at other things, but keep certain things. Like you select those universities which provide top education universities. See, if you go to universities, there are a lot of universities which offer degrees which are of not relevance in the global situation. So the cost would be the same. If you go to a dummy university and if you go to a top university, the cost would always be same because the living cost is same. Your charges for your living is the same. The fees may differ, but still it may be comparable. So try to aim at taking admission in the top universities, and don't stop and try to apply for one scholarship. Try to have options. Try to have one or two. Say, like in my case, I had at least 2, 3 options. For one, I had the Commonwealth. Another one, ICR. Another one, I was trying to apply for a scholarship in Holland. I'll come to that information. So at least if one or two fail, you will have at least end up. Your efforts will see to it that you will have at least one scholarship for your support. Okay, so select those universities which have worldwide recognition. So try to go into universities which have very good names. Okay, and try to also see universities which are quite top, but also they offer very low tuition fees. As I said, waiver is also possible. And try to also look, because living costs are quite important. Living costs for example in Netherlands, living costs could somewhere range between, like, for if you want to live or rent a house, it is something like 700 euros, 500 to 700 euros. And apart from that, you will have also to look after your other expenses, food and all. So somewhere like 900 to 1000 euros. So it is quite high. So, but if you go to certain countries like Italy, or if you go to certain countries like Germany, the cost of living is quite less. So try to explore those. uh, and also it depends, because you are only one. Living cost also depends whether you are a family or you are a bachelor. In my case, I had my family, so I had to also support them. So the medical expenses, the living cost, the rent. So I could nowhere live in a hostel room or a simple room. I wanted to live in a house. I want to rent a house. So these are all things which you have to take into account. And another important thing is opportunity for work during and after graduation. So when you go to West, there is also possibility that you can also work while you are studying. So you can also devote certain time. Like I have come across, at least in Wageningen, that I have come across many students who are going to part time work, like in supermarkets or in some institutes, or maybe in certain labs. They were going to do certain small tests to support their research program. And after graduation, what opportunities you have, that is also what important thing what you have to take into consideration. And try to see that wherever you select, it is quite multicultural and you have friendly environment. So that is quite important, because most of the time, at least half of the time, quarter of the time in the day, you spend with your friends, mainly your friends. So try to keep this in mind, that wherever the university is there, so it has a good global exposure, and it is quite safe also. So, for example, in recent times, you could say, I'm going to study in Australia. People would ask, oh, whether Australia is safe for students. So try to have this also in your mind. And another thing is, try to avoid agents and companies. I have seen many students at Wageningen, they have been cheated by agents. So they go through the agents. So they say that you give certain commission, and we will see to it that you have a secured position in the universities. And ultimately, when you come and do start your education, you'll feel to see that, oh, this is a fake university, and the degree which they award, they don't have any value, or they don't have any global acceptance. So try to avoid this at the first stage, and try to gather more information, especially on admission process. So what universities, and most of the established universities, like in Germany, in US, in Canada, in many of the European, in the Netherlands, university have special cells to guide students to admit through the admission process. And also the has been now it has been very simplified, and it's quite easy. Try to have a look at fee structures. Uh, try to gather info. It's not only tuition fees. Sometimes university also charges other type of fees, uh, like for example, say maintenance fees and these type of institutional development fees, which should be more than the tuition fees. So be very careful. Another thing is courses offered and flexibility. This is also important, because most of the universities, they have flexibility in the courses. Say for example, if I'm doing horticulture, so if I'm interested to move into the computer science field, so there is flexibility. So you can take up certain minor courses where you can start with those which you are interested in, say for programming skills, and many other small things where you can broaden your skills. And syllabus is quite important, because certain programs, they would be very narrow, and certain programs, they could be very broad. So try to look at the syllabus also. And another important thing is the language requirement, especially when you're going to US and Canada. English is a must, so you have to go through or qualify for the GRE, TOEFL. You have to have a good score. GRE, TOEFL, IELTS, and sometimes the scores in this language or English requirement, they also will help you to secure fellowships. So if you are a good score and if you have a good academic performance, then you can easily find certain good scholarships. Try to improve language communication skills. Go for tutorials. Nowadays, YouTube, Google is your friend. Try to spend some time in to take up certain tutorials. There is like apps, especially for English. You have Cambly, where you can directly call to certain what do you say, professional tutors, and you can take tuitions. So this is something you have to keep in mind. So again and again, I'm stressing that maintain good academic profile. The grades are important. Sometimes university admissions, uh, they will not see your special skills, but certainly they will judge a students based on their grades. So have good grades, and additional skill is an added advantage. So like I said, if you are good at certain softwares, programming like Python, R language, this is again having added advantage to you. So another important thing before you start thinking for admissions abroad is gather all documents. So sometimes you'll have an opportunities, but you will not stress on keeping the transcripts or keeping certain documents or maintaining your documents. Sometimes it could be a backstabber. So try to maintain the records, especially the transcripts. You have an when you have an updated CV, try to have a holistic CV. Don't be very broad. Try to have short CV, like 2 to 3 pages. So why I'm saying this, when you share a CV to some of the professors or some of the researchers, they really don't have time to go through your CV, like which is 20 pages, 30 pages. So try to keep it, have a short CV also with you. Try to have letter of recommendation and statement of purpose ready with you. Then funding, as I say, funding could be from many sources. Self financing. I've seen that many of the students who are coming to Netherlands, they have self finance. That is, they may have education loans, or they may take finance which is supported from their parents. And opportunities under collaborative but new projects, like if you have a project which is international or inter-institutional between the countries, there you can have certain project certain opportunities. And there are also special programs which offer sandwich degrees, like Indian and foreign universities. So, but certain countries, they have very dedicated cell to help students. Like an exception is China, but unfortunately India, as of I know, India doesn't have certain support. So try to be very cautious, because uh, if you are thinking about doing a MSc program or a PhD program through self-financing, it is quite high. So the amount of money which you spend is quite high. So think 100 times before you take this decision. Well, so I said that PhD in Western countries could be is an employment. So what would the researchers or a professor sitting in a foreign countries want in students? Especially they prefer students which have prior international exposure. That is, that say for example, if you have moved to your MSc program, and if you are looking for a PhD admission, so they try to prefer such to students which have already have foreign exposure or international exposure, and they have strong problem solving skills, advanced communication skill and language proficiency, which is reflected through your GRE, TOEFL or IELTS. And you should have self-reliance. Reliance. That means that especially for PhD, you should run your own project. It is not like Indian situation. See, I have come across, like I have also many students. Students here, what they do is they don't take up their own initiative. They depend on their guides. So the guide will say certain experiments and they will execute the experiment. But in foreign nation or foreign countries or universities, it is not such. You have to have uh, think on your own, develop your own skill. You have to be initiating certain new things. So they will give preference to those type of students. You should take risk. Risk taking is also one of the uh, good character, and you should be flexible and adaptable. So, say for example, if you have a contract which says you have to work 36 hours, it is not that you work 36 hours and end up. You have to have flexibility because experiments are more important. So on that type, and you have to adapt to the situation. You should have also networking skills, and you have also great social skills, and you have understanding across social cultural dynamics. So if you think if you all possess this, like half of the solution, you have half of the solution. So try to overcome cultural shocks. I said that here, actually Indian students don't take, otherwise it could be an exception also. Many of the Indian students, what they have in their mind is they don't properly manage their time, and they don't know how to manage even the projects. So try to get some tutorials in this line, because if you go there, the professor or the researcher, they will never come to you and ask, okay, you did not do this, you have to do this. They will have be looking at you, how you perform. So I would say try to work on especially the time management, especially the project management. This is quite important, because if you don't have these skills, uh, it's I have seen many students who have started like in 3-4 months, uh, they have been removed from the position. So in many of the universities, what you have is you have an appraisal or a go or no go meeting. So if the researcher and professor are satisfied with your performance, then only they are going to keep you or to allow you to continue your program. Nor within like maybe 5 or 6 months, they will take a decision. Okay, you are not suitable for our team. Bye bye. They will say bye bye. And I've seen many students struggling, especially in this aspect. So this is all what I wanted to say. If you have any specific questions, I would really like to take. Before I take up certain question with the permission of the organizers, can I would like to show some information to the students.
Yeah, sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Let me share this. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, this is a holistic portal who is wishing or who is willing to explore to study in Holland. Especially like if you go to home, you'll have a lot of information. Uh, like if you want to find a program, you can how to apply. It's very user friendly. It's very precise. And financing, how to finance your studies. If you go to finance, you'll say there are a lot of scholarships which are open here, so you can go through this scholarship. The earlier Indian government and Dutch government, they used to have a NAFIC program, because I have seen many master students, they have enrolled there in the NAFIC program. They used to give tuition fees, they used to support the living cost also, they used to also support the travel also for the students. So that was one thing, but you have to keep track of these things. No one will come to you. Try to attend webinars. There are a lot of webinars which have been arranged and there are educational nowadays online educational events from certain universities. Try to attend them. Try to look at the website. Especially this website is very helpful. Like how is Dutch education? What are all the universities? What type of courses they offer? A lot of things you'll find in a one go. And if you come to Wageningen, if you go to Wageningen ur.nl, you will see like already there is opening for February 2022. Because September, if you want to apply for September 2022, so you can all provide the information here, and you have like September 21 application is closed, so you can start. There is online master program. Like if you want to start in February 2022, so what are all the program which is offered? What are the deadlines? You can see here. What are the admission requirements? You will see here. What are the admission requirements? If there is any specific program, specific requirements, and you will see a lot of things here. See what all you need for your application. You need a bachelor degree, so they have explained very holistically how to go about. So what are the transcripts? How they want their transcripts? Sometimes the English language requirement. If there is exemption for English language proficiency, then what are the terms and conditions you have here? Then statement of purpose or motivation. Then you have the CV. Then other documents which are needed. So this is how you have to directly go into the website of the university and start to explore, right? So try to visit the university. Don't go to third-party website and try to explore, because they may have very limited information. So directly go to the university. First, select the university. Directly go to the university and look for the various eligibility requirements and programs and whatever, finance, scholarships, a lot of things. So with this, if my job is that if I have inspired few of them or made their mind a bit clear about their myths, I have done my job. So I had not prepared for this meeting because it's quite busy here. After the lockdown, it is very busy. It's rice sowing season, so it is. I could not like give more time for this purpose. So if you have any specific question, I have my email with Sridhar, Dr. Sridhar. Try to come back. I'll try to help you out if you have certain specific questions. Thank you very much. Thank you, organizers. Thank you, students.
Thank you so much, sir. It's really a wonderful presentation. Actually, first thing that comes once we think about studying at the abroad universities, always our students will be asking about how to find out, how to figure out the university in the other place, and how to read about that, and how to choose the courses, and how to find a finance for that. So I think probably so most of the participants, they have got our information in a proper way, I guess. So with this, I call participants if they have any questions for Dr. Manjunath sir, so you can ask. So particularly that Wageningen University, so he has graduated from a PhD from Netherlands. So I think if you have a questions in particular to that, it will be more appropriate.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm from US Bangalore. I'm in final year BCG.
Yeah, please.
So I've been constantly looking at this Wageningen website. I want to get admission in February 2022. So they've responded to me emails. I've got a lot of information, but I've heard from a few people, like from the university, that February semester is a little like the scholarships and all wouldn't be as much as it is in September.
Yes, you're true. Actually, thing is, since many countries they have graduation ending in between, so they don't have specific time. So what they do is they open up this February as a ad hoc, or they made this interim adjustment to pull in students who have not met the requirements for September. So it's always good to go in September. That is what my suggestion is.
Okay, so but then the semester this year, since Corona, it's late. So we'll be losing out a year if we wait till September. So even if we do self-funding for masters, do you recommend that? So because I've been attending the webinar even yesterday, so a lot of them said it will be good for PhD.
Actually, for masters, I would say no and yes, 50-50%. It all depends on you, how well you are financially. Say, if you are well-to-do financially, if your parents are well-to-do financially, and if your parents have already planned for your such a situation, then you can really take up. But if you are thinking to go for loans or go for debt, so you'll be caught in a trap. It's quite stressful. That is what my suggestion is.
Okay. Like even if we do self-funding after MSc, like continuing PhD and all, would it be a little advantageous over going from India for PhD, sir?
Uh, I did not get your point. I mean,
So for masters, even if we don't get scholarships and all, even if we do self-funding,
yeah.
is it anyway advantageous or does it have any pros over studying MSc here and then going for PhD?
Actually, there is another disadvantage when you choose this, because you're saying that I do my MSc here and then go for plan for PhD abroad, right? That is what you are saying.
No. I was asking if I go for an MSc abroad, like Netherlands, my main like I think now I'm thinking of Wageningen and Wisconsin Madison.
Uh-huh.
So among these, any university that I go, is it anywhere advantageous, sir, than studying it here? Like I'm just asking for a
That is what I'm
comparison
saying.
of after MSc.
Actually, you have less opportunity ending up in certain labs or employment if you do so. But if you take up self-financing, go for masters, then you will have a lot of opportunity to end up having into certain labs. Because in the master programs, what you have is you have two types of theses. One is the major thesis, and another is minor thesis.
Mm.
I've seen many students because they perform very good in the major thesis, they get straight away opportunity to start their PhD immediately.
Okay.
I have seen many of the very bright Indian students.
Okay.
But if you want to do MSc here and then seek admission for PhD abroad, uh, then you will have less preference.
Yes, sir. Actually, I have one going now only, MSc only. But the
Yeah.
main problem is because this year it's Corona and all, the semester got delayed, so I couldn't go for September. I had to wait for my results and all. So I'll have to miss out like
Think
six,
around,
7.
I would suggest to go for September unless and until you don't have any option. Because why I say is because you will take time again to cope up with the credit courses and lot of other things which you have to. And February month
Okay.
are quite cold, and so September I think is quite ideal. So September, if you start at September, the weather is quite good, so you can really start with your acclimatization courses and these type. So you will not lose much time. I have seen students who have
Good
started
afternoon, sir.
and struggling. Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes. Yes, Rahman.
Yes, sir, I would like to thank the admin panel for arranging such an incredible platform to sharing the information regarding the abroad. Sir, I'd like to hear from you. What is the prerequisition or what are the requirements we should carry for having MHC in abroad? Could you please explain in short?
Requirements for doing MSc.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, as I said, you start because in MSc you don't need. It's not a research program. It is again an educational requirement. So try to choose a course which have very wide acceptance globally. So, like for example, why I went to Netherlands is uh, that is number one agriculture university in the world, top number one agriculture university for in the world. And why people go there is because when you do agriculture as a subject, when you graduate, and since Netherlands is also an agricultural hub because most of the earnings is from agriculture, so they have opportunities to settle there. So that is why people go and choose certain countries or certain universities, and try to keep your you should have a good performance, academic performance. You should have a very good scores. I English requirement, try to see where you want to go first, decide where you want to go and see what is the requirements, especially the English requirements. Certain times like in Wageningen, they have a relaxation that if you have done English, if you have done your schooling in English, they can waive the IELTS or GRE TOEFL requirements. So there is a clause. Try to look into such conditions. Say for example, if you go to certain Germany, in Germany, some universities, top universities, they don't need English requirement, but they start to teach in German. So you need to learn German. So in that case, so be careful, and it all depends on from university to university. Letter of recommendation is another thing, and statement of purpose why you want to go to that university. And for letter of recommendation and letter of statement of purpose, you have Google, you have very nice web platform which provide example letters. So try to explore Google, right?
So how much is difficult to get scholarship for MHC in abroad?
I said it's not difficult, but don't leave hopes. Keep on trying. There is a lot of opportunities. Especially don't keep much hopes on the Indian scholarships. Try to explore the scholarships where your destination is. And they have a very good support program, especially say for example, even if they have a scholarship which meets only the tuition fees, I still feel that is a very good package. uh, Covering tuition fees could be quite huge. So if some scholarship which covers tuition fees, and if they don't give you living cost or travel cost, don't worry. So try to explore, and try to go to the website which gives good information. Don't go to third-party websites. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, I'm sorry. Last time I couldn't get
Sir?
the last one what he said. Is it okay to go like apart from the acclimatization part? Like, is there any other like other cons for February semester, sir? Like disadvantages?
Actually, I have seen very less number of people who have come for February this one. The thing is, uh, since there will be no much students, so you will be left like single-handed. Or
Okay.
you got my point? What I'm saying?
Yes, sir. It's
Say
about the
for
social
example, if
and
you
the
start in
environmental
September,
part.
yeah, if you start in September, you will have your friends. Maybe from India, you may have 13, 15 friends. So you
Right.
flock together, you prepare together for the exam, you go to the classes. So you have such a very good support. But in February, sometimes you may end up having you maybe only one. So
Okay.
that is only the like cons. Okay,
Okay.
so think about
Academically,
it.
sir?
Academically also, sometimes because the program, see, if you go in February, since the semester which starts, they say
Mm.
they don't say semester there, they say the period which
Okay.
starts in, you have to start in February. Sometimes say for
Okay.
example your introductory courses are gone, so
Okay.
you end up starting with advanced courses. So that would
Okay.
be again a disadvantage for you. That is what I suggest. That is why many people don't prefer to go.
Okay. Okay.
It could be that they may have some arrangements for this type of like lapses, breaks. So try
Right.
to contact. If you need more information, I can connect to my student. I had a student there. I can
Okay.
connect to him and he may guide you in this matter.
Yes.
If you send me an email, then I can
Okay.
just forward it to him and he may suggest you how to go about it.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. That would be a great help.
Yeah, welcome.
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Sir,
yes, Mohan.
even for postdoc also this. Sir, even for postdoc also this English proficiency test is real.
Generally, no, but actually, postdoc's preference is quite uh, broad. Postdoc position are advertised only when you have a certain project, and if you have a PhD, you want to continue as a postdoc, then you have an opportunity. Otherwise, the important thing what you want to note down is English for postdoc is, I think, is not a requirement because it's already an employment. Uh, I said to you, PhD is an employment in Netherlands. It is no more a student life. It is like your job starts at morning 9 and ends at 5. So you have a contract between you, the employer, and you. They say that in a week you have to work for 38 hours. Like for me, when I was doing my PhD, I had a contract with my professor which says that I have to work for 36 hours a week. Okay, so it is no more a student. Like in India, PhD is like student. You come. So that is not how it is in Netherlands. So you have a dedicated project for yourself. You need to go specialized. You need to attend specialized training based on the project. Those are all things. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sir, if there is no any postdoc advertisement, design any research project and I offered to the two
Yeah,
get fund.
I did not mention this. What happens in Netherlands is they have a very nice policy to support young researchers. If you want to opt as a career, what they have is they have programs. They provide money even to write projects. They provide you 6 months scholarship. They say that okay, you go and attach to a well-known professor, and he will guide in writing or giving ideas to write projects. So that is how it happens in Netherlands. So you're writing for 6 months, the government supports. So you can come up with a project, then you can submit it to the funding agency, and the funding agency look at the competitiveness of the project, and they will say, okay, this project we can support it for 5 years. So that is how your PhD starts. There. Sometimes postdocs.
Okay, sir.
Sometimes even assistant professors also.
Yes, Anusha, do you have any questions?
Okay.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Anusha.
I'm actually looking for PhD. There are usually a lot of open positions, like put in the website of the Wageningen University. So, is there any tips? Because for one project I had applied, but I couldn't get selected. So, is there any tips for that? How we can get selected through those projects, like an employment? Hello.
Open. They put in the website.
Yes.
So if you like the project and because there you can see what is the project about and what are the requirements, what type of skills they require. So if you meet, don't hesitate to apply. Though the chances are less, I would say honestly, why? Because most of those positions are given more preference for the lab members already who are working in the lab.
Okay.
So thereby you have less preference. but that is not a universal case. So try to apply, not one. If you don't get one, don't bog down. Just try to apply as many as possible. Okay.
But usually, when I spoke to others, like previously, they had told like if you're applying for multiple projects, they might think that you're not interested in a particular field of area, so you are just applying everywhere. So the chances of selection will reduce. Is that the case?
That is true also, because I have seen like my guide sitting in the selection committees for students. Now this was also one requirement. So they want very focused students. They want students who are very focused. They want to see that the students are self-reliant. They have new initiatives. So they look into all this. So, but it does not say that it is not wrong that if you, because ultimately you are new, and sometimes also keep in mind that uh, professors or research guides or project leaders, they want to give fresh students an opportunity. So sometimes I've seen, like in my lab, I've seen almost all the PhDs who are coming. Uh, they were all fresh students. There were no one who was who was done the masters and then came to PhD.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
welcome.
Hello, sir. I have a question for you.
Yes, yes.
Sir, actually, I heard that there are so many scholarships even in Netherlands. So especially one is Orange Fellowship. I don't know exactly what fellowship it is, but could you please elaborate about this program?
Which one? Which
Orange, Orange.
Orange. See,
Yeah.
I think yes, there was a program running, but I don't know what is the position. So Orange International Fellowship Scholarship or something it was called, but I don't have much information. But say for example, if you go into the website, I can share the screen. Say here in this website which I'm sharing. So if you type India specific scholarship, you will get, see, Orange Tulip Scholarship Program. So you have this. So try to click on this and you see. And you have a dedicated page called as the Netherlands Education Support Office, which is based in India. So if you have any doubts, try to write an email to them, and don't hesitate to write them, because they take these emails very religiously and they are very honest in replying. Yeah. So try to the Orange Tulip Scholarship Program, I think, is still going on. NAFIC program, I have seen many Indian students, they got advantage of the NAFIC program.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. So, participant, do you have any more questions for Dr. Manjunath Prasad, sir? If no more questions, sir, there are a few questions for you in the Q&A section. So, what is the total period of time required to join masters right from attending IELTS exam?
It may take something between 1 to 1.5 years. So start early. Start early in the sense, at least when your coursework in the like when you are ending your degree program, try to start early. So that is what I suggest. And because all the IELTS and GRE, they have a time frame, because they are valid for certain period. So it is not a waste if you start early also.
Sir, another question is, so how important is CV for a master's to get into abroad university?
How important?
A CV for a master degree.
I could not get Sridhar. I don't know where to find question and answers.
So I can read it one. Once
How
again.
important
So,
is
Akshay Kumar, if you're present here, could you please explain that what is actually your requirement is?
how
Akshay
important is
Kumar.
maintaining a good record of CV for masters, right?
Yeah.
I said you that good record or CV is quite advantageous in two very important process. One is the admission process, and another one is this giving scholarship to you. So it is very, very, very important. Try to look for ideal CV. Nothing is good because once you draft a CV, then you will always find opportunity to improve it. So don't take an example from any of your friends. Try to build a good CV, and whatever you reflect in your CV, try to be true, because sometimes it will give a bad image. Say for example, if you don't know programming language and if you mention that I know R and Python, and if they ask a certain question and if you are not unable to answer, then you can easily get straight away rejected. So don't try to put like more this one. I mean, try to say be true to yourself. Keep it very precise. Don't elaborate, because they don't have much time. Say for example, if I am a project leader, I call for 2 PhD positions, and at least I would have a few hundred applications. Say for example, I cannot read each and every CV, so try to keep it very precise and very short. Okay.
Okay, sir. And one more question. Can anyone avail more than one scholarship if he or she is eligible for more than one scholarship?
It's hard. I don't think this is there. Because when you choose for a fellowship, I think there is a column says that I don't have any other fellowship. Then only they are going to consider your application. But there may be certain internship, maybe certain support if they have within the project. Say for example, if you are working extra hours, so they can pay for your extra hours. So these small adjustments they can do, but one I think cannot take up 2 3 scholarships. No.
And sir, one more question is there any international paid internships?
Yeah, internship is not a full-time educational program. It is just a support. It is just like a 2 months, 3 months support, project support. So there could be a lot of paid internship, but you have to look for that in the university websites. I have seen also like many of the master students. I said that there are 2 theses. One is major thesis and another is minor thesis, right? But students, the flexibility is such that in Wageningen that they can, I think they can also take up either minor thesis or they can go for internship. Actually, students, what they do is they skip minor thesis if they are aiming to get a job in certain companies. So what they do is they drop the minor thesis, they take up internship in a company. And if the company like a student in the internship, it is likely that he can continue absorbed into the company. So that is the advantage of the internship. So the student has a flexibility. So the major thesis is compulsory. He has to do it in, say if he is from plant breeding, he has to do his molecular biology, he has to do it. But other one, he can either do internship or he can do minor thesis. So people who aspire to take up research as their career, they try to take up minor thesis as a option. But if they want to take up a job as immediately job after masters, so they end up going to internship. So that is the advantage. So that is why I'm saying flexibility is quite important. Flexibility is always there in such universities.
Okay. So we do have seen so many training programs being conducted, especially for professionals from the Wageningen University in Netherlands. So, is there any scholarship opportunities for that kind of training programs?
Actually, Wageningen is there is a lot of training going on in especially Wageningen.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to look in the website itself, especially in the chair groups. So they are
Mm-hmm.
going to advertise for the training.
Mm-hmm.
There you have to apply, and again it is competitive. As I said, it is not selective; it is competitive. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to apply. Then they are going to select the candidates
Mm-hmm.
for the training purpose.
Okay.
It could be like
So,
1 month training, 6 months training, 4 month training, whatever it is.
mm-hmm.
But if you are, say, for example, if you are a assistant professor or associate professor,
Mm-hmm.
you have a funding from Indian government, say, for example,
Mm-hmm.
and if you want to do certain training, then you can
Mm-hmm.
directly approach the chair group or the professor of the chair
Mm-hmm.
of the department. So you can write that I have certain such and such funding. So can I visit your lab for maybe 6 months, 10 months, 1 year, or so, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And if the professor feels well, he is the right person to join our team, then generally I've seen many European citizens and from especially China, Japan, they come for 6 months training.
Mm-hmm.
And also for like companies. Say companies, what is the nice part of companies is, say for example, the company has recruited me as a fresher,
Mm-hmm.
so they want to train me. So what
Mm-hmm.
companies do is they will attach to certain lab groups. So if you are in research, they will put into some professor. So they pay fees for the training. The company pays, and I get trained for maybe 3 months, 4 months, and then
Mm-hmm.
start my new job at the company. So that is the arrangements they have. But it's case to case basis. If your situation is that you have already a funding and then you are looking for a lab, then it is case to case basis. You have to make your own communication, and that is always flexible there. Say for example, you have like 6 months some program, you have a fellowship. Maybe the professor asks, okay, you pay me like 1,000 bench fees per month, and if it's already there is a provision in the fellowship, you can do, or you can negotiate with the professor. That is always possible. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any more questions? So, if no questions, I would thank Dr. Manjunath Prasad sir for being with us and for valuable suggestions and for more discussion with all the participants. And now I request
Thank you
Ganga.
very much, sir. I would wish all the students a very bright future. All the very, very best. Don't lose hopes. So keep in mind, never lose hopes. Okay. Have patience.
Mm,
I wish you all the best. Bye.
to give a vote of thanks to Dr. Manjunath Prasad sir.
A very good afternoon, everyone. Hope we had a good session today. It's my pleasure to give vote of thanks on behalf of my university and college. I would like to thank Dr. Manjunath Prasad CT, scientist, ICAR, New Delhi. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your precious time with us. And I would like to thank all the lectures, and I would like to thank all the participants. Have a nice day. Thank you.